Hello and welcome back to your Esports Rundown for May 30th, 2025. A really busy weekend in esports, and we have a really good one coming up. Starting with Combo Breaker. Huge tournament for all the major fighting games. And in the Street Fighter tournament, we had Lashar making a insane losers bracket run, going through Goichi, Bonchan, Ending Walker, Dual Kevin, and Itabashi Zangief in the Grand Finals reset to take the Capcom 12 spot qualifier. It was looking a little dicey for him, especially in the Goichi and Bonchan matches, but he has this just really insane ability to download and understand what he needs to do in the set, and just kind of gets that download and just runs it. He's very dominant. The two EWC spots went to Dual Kevin and Itabashi Zangief. They were the best performing players other than Lashar, who already has that spot. Really good showing from Dual Kevin, especially as he's unsponsored at the moment, and hopefully this and the EWC spot pushes some org to sponsor him in the future. Instead, moving on to Tekken, we had a Mole Gold take the entire thing, and he was dominant, in my opinion. He was so good the entire weekend. The knee series looked closer than I think it actually was. Mole Gold had a very easy time in that series, and knee just really felt like he had to fight for it. Atif had a really good losers bracket run, taking down Arslan, Edge, and Knee before losing to Mole Gold in the finals. All four of the lower bracket round 1 players got the invites to EWC, so Edge, Low High, Rangichu, and Arslan are all going to be there, and rightfully so. They're all some of the best players in Tekken. Moving to Fatal Fury, we have Goichi taking it all, but since he has the EWC spot, Reynold, NY Chris, and RB are taking those spots. Goichi went down pretty early to NY Chris and had a very big losers run, taking down Fenriddy, RB, NY Chris, and then Reynold in a dominant Grand Finals reset. In the Strive tournament, we had Jack getting second, Nitro getting third, and Razu getting 7th, 8th, Hodashi also getting 6th. Don't want to leave out some important names. Grand Blue, Zerom took the AWT qualifier spot, taking it over Zane in a bracket reset. And then that was about it for. There's a lot of really good side tournaments that went on, so I really recommend you go watch some of them. Like the auction ones were really fun, and MVC3 itself was also very fun to watch a Combo Breaker. Heading over to the Topanga Challenge that just started a few days ago. It's pretty much just like a summer-long series that you'll just get to see great Street Fighter from great Street Fighter players. The whole thing is like the B League, then we'll go into the A League, and so we have the B League starting, and you're just gonna see a really great Street Fighter. For the opportunity to get into whatever the A League is. It doesn't say who's immediately qualified, but you could probably take some guesses because I don't see Kakadu there, so he's probably one of the ones in the A League already. Just be a great Street Fighter. If you ever need something on, just turn that on. Head into the minor tournament, still a very big one. Got Head Stomper in Malmo, Sweden. Could be one EWC spot for Tekken. And it's mostly an EMEA tournament. So getting some EMEA representation at EWC because no one from North America or Asia are able to take the spots away from them, seemingly. This will be a really fun one to watch, and I'm very excited because I just do love Tekken. Watching Tekken. I love playing Tekken too. Same thing with Fatal Fury. They're going to have an EWC spot and also an SWC finals slot. So I think Score is playing at this tournament. I don't know if Matt KOF is, because he's also listed for Battle Arena Melbourne, so that's kind of up in the air. But got a lot of really good entrants from Europe and the Americas as well. Strive is just gonna be a regular tournament. Left and Tiger Pop are there, so it'll be some good Strive no matter what. And also this is, oh, I'm forgetting her name. The new character just got released. He's super fun. I don't know. So Sidman was playing her in the tournament. Grand Blue, pretty minor one over there, and then Street Fighter doesn't have any real stakes, so most of the sponsor players are being sent to Battle Arena Melbourne. Heading over, looking at that, start with Street Fighter. There's one EWC slot for the taking, and we have a lot of big names like John, Oil King, ZJZ, Chris Wong, Kusanagi, Hot Dog, Hikaru, Nephew. Not a lot of people who have already qualified for EWC, so it'll be very interesting to see who's able to get this spot. It'll be a really, really fun tournament regardless. Going to Strive, just a regular tournament, no real big states, so got Tuyara, got Emma Chris, got some APAC representation, but none of the big hitters, similar with Grand Blue, other than like Diaphone on this side as well. For Fatal Fury, we have 2 EWC spots available and an SWC final spot. Again, we got a lot of really big names like Pujera, ZJZ, Tiara, Violent Kane, Diaphone, I assume is entered. I do see him now. Nephew, so we'll see a lot of really good KOF. We'll see who's actually entering this tournament as it goes on, but it'll be a fun one regardless. And then the big one for Battle Arena Melbourne, Tekken 8. We got 4 EWC spots, a lot of Tekken World Tour spots, points. So even if you're not playing for those EWC spots, there's a lot to play for those Tekken World Tour points. And that we have all the big hitters pretty much coming from Combo Breaker. And even got some people that weren't at Combo Breaker. I believe Sephi Black wasn't there. I don't think Yagami was there. I don't know if Farzine was there. So like we got a lot of really good players coming in. Ilias is listed for both, for Head Stomper and this, so see where they are. But double JCDR, CBM, a lot of people are really interested in those the EWC spots, so it'll be very fun to watch, and it'll be some just good ass tech in the entire weekend. And that is it for fighting games, I believe. And we'll head over to Smash, see if there's anything going on this weekend. Have a Symphonic Gaming Festival. Seemingly good entrance. Mia, Spargo, Gluto, Leo, Shiny Mark, T. Got some big names and a lot of French names and French players in attendance. I think that's it for Smash. It doesn't look like there's a lot of big melee or anything like that. Now for Call of Duty, they kind of spoil it, but L8, these are the Stage 4 champs, and also clinched the first seed, which is like, I believe the first time that the FaZe haven't, that Atlanta FaZe haven't gotten that. It's like FaZe or Optic haven't gotten that, so it's kind of crazy. They had a really cracked losers run after losing the Heretics early, took down Ultra and Texas, took revenge on the Heretics, and then pretty handily beat FaZe. Heretics really look like the Mongols of Call of Duty, where they seem like they can get to top 3 and top 4 consistently, and they really can't punch that much higher. I hope I'm wrong for champs. I will show the preview of champs for now because it's gonna be at the end of the month, so we'll talk about it later. But this is what champs is looking like after the entire season. got some really awesome games. I think FaZe Texas in the first round's awesome. Heretics being able to get to that 5th seed and playing Vancouver, who honestly hasn't looked good, so we'll see which kind of Vancouver shows up. And then the Royal Ravens could really upset Ultra if they... I would not be surprised. That is about it for Call of Duty. I did mention it last week, so I'll kind of go and show the results. In Halo, in the DreamHack Major. Nope, where's... Championship bracket, sure. There we go. TSM actually had a really good run. They just ran into FaZe and then Optic, and they just kind of ran out of steam. Took down Envy. FaZe took down Shopify, who's also been a pretty good team. Shopify not able to take down Optic, and Optic had a insane loser bracket run, taking out everyone and doing the reset and pretty much just dominating after they got taken down from Shopify earlier in the weekend. Unfortunate showing for Gen G, not really doing well, same with Cloud9, but pretty much it. I really don't have much to add on on that, because I don't really follow Halo that much. That being said, heading over to Overwatch, or no, I think we go to Apex before we go to Overwatch. We had the Pro League start back up in Americas. We had, I believe, 2 sets of games. We had round 2 A versus B, where NRG, big shocker, took first spot there. Shopify in 2nd, Team Falcons in 3rd, 100 Thieves in 4th, All Gamers 5th, TSM 6th, and Sentinels 7th. Furia with a disappointing 11th, and Team Liquid Koi with a very disappointing 15th, 16th. Twisted Minds, I think, also are not happy at 13th in that one. Heading to A versus C. Rock bounced back, Twisted Minds bounced back and took 1st and 2nd. TSM got 3rd, Team Falcons with a respectable 4th. LG not performing, I think, to their expectations at 8th. NIP at Vert Pro 12th, 13th. And Team Liquid again with a really bad weekend at 18th. And did Complexity not play? They must have not played. Must have been some problems there. Heading to EMEA, we had pretty much the same thing, A versus B, where Alliance took up 1st spot, followed by GG, FaZe, and then Na'Vi. Onyx getting 17th, X0 Tenacity with an unfortunate 20, and Team War with a 10th. For A versus C, Zero Tenacity takes the top spot, Na'Vi in 2nd, Go Next Esports 4th, War in 6th, they've been doing pretty well, Aurora in 7th, Nemesis 8th, X0 Tenacity in 19th, along with NIP. So did they get 8 points last week? I'm like, did they get to Q? They might not have played. Really don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to cough. Yeah, I don't know that whole situation and what happened there. See if there's anything in APAC North. And in surprising fashion, Noah's Fox takes the 1st spot, Meteor taking 2nd, RX taking 3rd, TechWing taking 4th, Realize Nova 9th, Enter Force 36th and 10th, Kinotrope as at 12th, GH Boom at 13th, Riddle at 14th, and Fnatic a very, very shocking 19th. They cannot be having those performances like that if they really want to kind of contend for a championship. In the A versus C, SPI taking 1st, Striders 2nd, Arnab 3rd, Dosuke Impact 4th, Kinotrip 5th, Enter Force 36 6th, so they had a pretty good bounce back. Riddle 11th, Reject 13th, Crazy Raccoon 14th. Those are 2 results for those teams. They really cannot have, because again, they're low in the standings. They really need to pick it up next week, or this upcoming week. Then in Overwatch, we got lots to talk about. Going just down the line, NA, the regular season is continuing as Sakura 3-0 Dill Ducks, and oh wait, no, that's the wrong weekend. May 24th. GK took down SSG, and TMR took down Liquid. Big shock. Dill Ducks got a map against Supernova, and then Sakura took down Extinction. Oh, this upcoming we're gonna Sakura versus Supernova, GK versus Liquid. Liquid needs to bounce back, and TMR versus Extinction, SSG versus Supernova, and GK versus Dill. Going over to EMEA, we've got, I need to go to the regular season results. I have QAD taking down Vert Pro 3-0 in dominant fashion. Genji took down Peps 3-2. Quick Esports took down FTE 3-2. And Twisted Minds beat Ultimates 3-0. Next week, Vert Pro is going to have a chance to bounce back against FTE. Ultimates going to be playing Peps. And then QAD is going to be playing Quick and Genji versus Twisted Minds, which will be a very, very good match. I believe OWCS China has started. So we have to look at the regular season there. And we have LS beating HE. Team CC beating Rock Esports. Zones beating XX. Rock beating HE. And then Weibo 3-0ing. I think that's just a note. Milk Tea beat Lost Sheep. That's Little Sheep, sorry. Team CC 3-0 to Team XX. And then tomorrow we're gonna have Weibo versus Zones. Team CC versus Little Sheep. Rock versus XX. First will be Zones versus the Weibo. And then next week, XX, CC versus HE, Rock versus me. No really big surprises so far. And Japan is pretty much ending their regular season. They have one more day's matches on the 2nd, but we have Nyam Gaming losing to beating Hayabusa 3-0. J-Cot beating the Prize Project 3-0. Pharrell taking it 3-1. Tiger. Reject beating ZG 3-0. Inferno beating 3-1. Or beating Lazuli 3-1. Please No Hero Band beating Rev 3-0. Reject taking down J-Cop 3-0. Aplom taking down Nyam 3-0. And then Lazuli taking Hypeboost down 3-0. I believe the top spots are confirmed, more or less. Pharrell and Reject will be those top seeds. Aplom's going to be 2nd. Inferno will be 3rd. And there's a little bit to play for, I believe, in a little bit like seeding for Inferno. There might be, I don't think there's no way they can. They're going to be where they are. And then Pharrell really just kind of wants to solidify that first seed. Please No Hero Ban should be able to try and clinch that 2nd seed, but Rivati can. Rivati can't do anything. So this is pretty much set. But there will be games: ZG versus Please No Hero Ban, and Inferno versus Pharrell, and Project for Rev on the 2nd. Let's see what's happening in Korea, because I don't think they even know. It's been a nightmare trying to follow and who's being good and who's not being good. And so last week we had OCN beating OSG, AGG beating Falcons, or all games beating Falcons, CR beating Poker Face, OSG took down Vic, T1 took down Zeta, very big match for those two teams. Falcons beat OCN, T1 3-0 to Vec. Crazy Raccoons 3-0 or 3-1 All Gamers, giving them the first loss of the season. And then Zeta took down Poker Face. Poker Face then took down All Gamers 3-1, so maybe there's a little bit of a fall from grace for All Gamers. Crazy Raccoon 3-0'd Zeta, and then Falcons 3-0'd Vec. And for tomorrow and Sunday to finish out the Korean regular season, we have T1 versus OCN, Zeta versus All Gamers, which might be a very important game for seeding, Poker Face versus OSG, Vec versus OCN, CR versus Falcons, which is just an ultra banger, and then OSG versus T1. So looking at the standings, it's a mess. we have 4 2-loss teams, and they're also playing each other in a lot of cases. So there's honestly, I might tip T1 to get the first seed, because I could see, actually no, I don't think they can, because it's all gamers play Zeta. Yeah, All Gamers versus Zeta I think will be the big decider. I could see T1 ending 6-2. I also could see Crazy Raccoon losing. So it's, who knows? This is all up for change. And again, like I said, that top 4 is very important because they don't go into the gauntlet, they go into the seeding matches, and is very important to try and get one of those mid-season championship spots at the EWC. Moving on to Valorant, I think I'll just talk about EWC qualifiers because we're a little too far from Masters. Find one. ACL. Again, T1 didn't do great, but PaperX and DRX, kind of the 2 you'd expect other than if T1's not getting it, are qualified for EWC. They are at the main event. We'll just do this. For the EMEA qualifiers, K Corp and BBL took it, and then for the America's qualifier, Energy and 100 Thieves, and then I think last weekend we Renew, EDG, and Titans took those final spots. CS had a very busy weekend, as they normally do. Just finishing up the IEM Dallas. Also, I do want to mention that we're losing IEM Katowice. We're moving somewhere else, and I'm not happy. That being said, moving on. In the finals of in the playoff bracket, Vitality took down Team Falcons, Mouse took down the Mongols, and then, unsurprisingly, Vitality still hasn't lost in like 2 months, and they took down Mouse. I really hope they. It's one of those things you want them to keep winning because it's cool to see, like, the history. But then it's like, man, I want parity. That being said, we are heading into the Blast Major in Austin. Yeah, Austin. And we have this like whole stage qualifier thing. So we have stage 1, which I would argue might be the most interesting because you get to see all the lower teams get to play against each other. It's a very fair fight for them, and it's very fun to watch. Got a lot of bigger names. We have Complexity Heroic, Bet Boom, Tyloo, Linvision, Wildcard, FlyQuest, OG, Imperial, Enigma, NRG, big names, Fluxo as well. So they will be playing each other all throughout the week to then try and get into the stage 2 with Falcons, FaZe, 3D Max, Vert Pro, Pain, Furia, MIBR, and M80. And then they will all be trying to get into stage 3 with Vitality, Mouse, Spirit, G2, Mongols, Aurora, Navi, and Liquid. This will be going on for a bit, I believe, so yeah, it'll be multiple week thing, so we will comment it and look back later, but it's gonna be super. Heading over to we're at Dota. Heading over to Dota, they are in the Dream League right now. They are finishing up their group stage 2. We have Paravision at 7-0 already taking that first spot. They must have finished today, except for an open match. Maybe there's a tiebreaker. I don't know. But Paravision is in that top seed, going to be facing Bet Boom. Talon is going to be starting in the lower bracket, and then one of the Garmin Gladiators and Aurora will be joining them. Team Liquid look like they only can ever win a tournament or not make the playoffs. Nigma and Yakult, respectable, but just not enough to make it to the playoffs. So I'll be finishing up over the weekend. Be a lot of qualifiers going on in these upcoming days. We have a lot of EWC open qualifiers, and then we'll have the closed qualifiers later, and I will talk about the closed qualifiers. Heading over to League now. Jump on the gun. Just continuing through LCK. I think Nongshim have already qualified for Rise Group. I don't know if that is 100% true, because I think there's a scenario where that doesn't happen. But they had the big upset, and they beat T1 2-0, and T1 just looked really, really bad. We almost had the really funny scenario where KT Rolster beat Gen G, but Gen G came back in Game 3. HLE rolled T1, which I think also kind of contributed to them not playing well against Nongshim. And then that's pretty much it. Oh, DK did beat HLE. That was a huge shocker. Which pretty much, like, that win brought them back into this whole scenario with them trying to get into the Rise Group. But the two important games remaining are KT versus DRX. KT really needs to 2-0 that game. And then Nongshim versus DK is going to be a very, very important one. Yeah, they're pretty much done, and they will be going into the road of MSI, which I don't know when that starts. Let me check. This will be a road show, June 13th. I did know that one. And then June 7th will be play-in matches to go into the road show. Okay, June 7th. Got it. Heading over to the LPL. They are getting into their knockout stages. They did the Rivals series with the lower bracket groups. IG 3-0 at EDG. WE took down LGD 3-1. Weibo 3-0 Thundertalk, and FPX upset. I mean, they were the higher seed, but upset NIP, who I think a lot of people had higher expectations for. Get do and be a real team, please. In the upper bracket quarterfinals that are going to be starting this week, we have Top Esports versus FPX, Billy versus IG, which is going to be a really fun one in my opinion. That's the one I'm going to watch out for. A1 Legends versus WE, and then JDG versus Weibo, which is also going to be a banger. LPL is just at the point where it's just going to be bangers remaining into the finals. It's going to be super fun to watch, and I highly suggest everyone to do that. LEC, they had some upsets in the playoffs. We had G2 take down Fnatic. Fnatic just can't play the game when they play G2. I don't get it. And then Koi took down Karmian Corp. G2 then took down Koi and are qualified for MSI, the first team that has done so, and also qualified for EWC. Koi is in the lower bracket, and they have one game to see if they can make it to both EWC and MSI. Fnatic Giant X will be playing in the quarterfinals this week. I think tomorrow, actually, yeah. And then K Corp versus Heretics. Most likely it'll be Fnatic versus Karmian Corp, and then one of them will be facing Koi in about week's time. So this will be very fun to watch, and this is going to be the really important match, and then hopefully finals is good. Heading to the LCP, they are in the middle of their playoffs, where Talon 2-0'd SoftBank. Waiting on the results for GAM versus Viking. And then CFO will be playing their selection. So I would imagine they're going to be playing the GAM Vikings winner. And then Team Secret will probably be playing Talon. This will be next weekend, right? Oh no, this will be tomorrow. Okay, so it will be tomorrow, and then June 1st. Okay. We'll have the one MSI participant for the LCP in a bit, actually. In a few days. Just unfortunate for Chiefs indeed. I want more. Heading over to the LTA. I think they will be starting their playoff. Or no, they already did start their playoffs. Yeah, that sucked. FlyQuest 3-0 Shopify, and then C9 3-0 Team Liquid. Very just dominant games from both teams. Hopefully Team Liquid can bounce back against Dignitas, and then 100 Thieves will be playing Shopify, and kind of see if 100 Thieves can bounce back from their poor regular season. These will be the only games this weekend, so no upper bracket, unfortunately. And then only one team is qualified for MSI, so we'll have to wait until the 15th to figure out who is this from the LTA North. And then in the South, they also have started their playoffs, where Furia 3-0 to Vivo Keyed, Pain 3-1 to Pain Gaming 3-1 to Loud, and then they will be playing against Ancestral. Loud will be playing against Ancestral, and then Recogniz will be playing Vivo Keyed. That is pretty much it for the league as we head over to Rocket League to end it out. We have the qualified teams from some. Can I not? You're not giving me the actual games? Oh, I made it. Okay, where is it? Where do you want it? Recent match. Open 6. There we go. Open 6 for NA as we finally get to talk about it. No, they didn't win it. SSG won it. In the pretty much the real bracket, Complexity took down Deleted but lost to Genji, and that knocked them out for major contention. Ultimates took down Evo, clinching their spot. And then the top 4 for this tournament are the major representatives. SSG took down Genji, and then NRG lost to the Ultimates, but the Ultimates seemingly can't beat SSG. So SSG took the 4-0 and are heading strong into the major. Going to EU, we have lots of, I think, one big spot left. That'll be determined this weekend as they're going through. We have the big one in NIP beating GK. NIP still has a chance, so the fact that they're going to be in the upper bracket is huge for them. Vitality's in the upper bracket, Dignitas also in the upper bracket with Carmine Court. BDS already out, which is huge for them. Caliente playing BSK, GK versus Synergy, Forward versus 100%, and then Gentlemates versus ATM. Really, really important for Gentlemates to win that one. If I believe if they lose that one, they're just like out of major contention. I'll show the points later for that. Or actually, I can show the points now. Because I think it's interesting. We have 2 teams already qualified in K-Corp and Dignitas, and we have this kind of mess at the bottom where GK, it's really like Vitality should confirm it later into the weekend, but GK, Gentlemates are fighting for that last spot, but also NIP, if they get second, I believe, and other things happen, they can make the major. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens with these, and also again, Forward's there too. I don't want to count out Forward. I'm just an NIP fan, so it'll be very interesting to see how this shapes out this weekend. OCE, okay, let me just go back to the OCE also finished up and got some spoilers, but TSM took the entire thing over Chiefs. Big upsets in the lower bracket, or in the bracket. Wildcard losing to TSM, and then TSM beating Chiefs to clinch their major spot. Believe that it is Wildcard and Chiefs that are going. So good for them. Yeah, it is Wildcard and Chiefs. I'm happy about that, or Wildcard and TSM. And then we'll be having the culmination of the South America tournaments. I believe it is pretty much like confirmed that Secret and Fury are going to be the representatives, but you never know. That's why they play the game. Mina, again, I think that was already confirmed. Same with SSA, and then APAC does have their open still. I believe Vert Pro is already confirmed. So we have Vert Pro versus Kino Trip on the top, and then Koi versus Dream Station. So we have pretty much those 3 main teams in APAC, and then just whichever team shows up that week. So this is going to be a very fun one to watch. I'm super excited. Or more the major. I'm super excited for the major. Excited for the APAC one. That being said, that is it for me. I'm sorry I'm on a different PC, so if anything was scuffed, I'm going to blame it on that. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day or night.